One of the most intimidating things of living a ketogenic lifestyle is ordering at a restaurant. Whether it's dining in the restaurant or getting takeout for home, a lot of people struggle with this, so we're going to talk about it today. Sarah and I have been on keto since January of 2019, and so we have a lot of experience with this, so we feel like we can navigate it easier just because of the sheer amount of time that we've been doing it, almost 3 years now. And a lot of times you're going to have to prepare beforehand to be successful. So before we get into talking about what to actually order at a restaurant, we should talk about how to be successful. So Sarah and I always say that you should never go into a situation where you're going out to a restaurant where you're extremely ravenous, because it leads to poor decision making. So recently Emily and I decided to go shopping, and we knew that we were going to have lunch somewhere. We knew that going in we might make some terrible decisions, so we decided to eat something small beforehand so that we could go to this mall and not be shopping on an empty stomach. I don't know if you've been to a mall recently, but it was like my first time going to a mall in a couple of years. And it's like they pump scent into the air. Like the minute I walked in, I was like, Cinnabon, you know? So we decided to eat something small, not like an entire meal, just before you go so that you're not going in extremely hungry. And we also hadn't been to Cheesecake Factory in a while, so we decided to go there. And you might not think that they would have keto options, but actually their menu has kind of evolved to have like a whole skinny type of menu. Skinnylicious is what they call it. We made it a point to look up the menu before we went just to make sure they had some options available. So that's one of our tips. If you guys can decide on the restaurant that you want to go to, you are more likely to pick something that has keto-friendly options. So after you sit down at a restaurant, what's the next step? Your waiter is going to come to the table and they're probably going to take your drink order. And this is like a really crucial step. Do not mess up on the drink order because it can be a slippery slope into cheating if you don't pick the right thing. So Sarah and I, if we're going out for brunch, we will typically start off with coffee with cream. Pretty simple, easy, free refills. I love that. I tend to stay away from diet soda in general. Mostly I'll get water. But if drinks are involved, that's a whole different story because you're not going to find much on a drink menu like at the Cheesecake Factory that's going to be keto friendly. They are all going to have a tremendous amount of sugar in them. They really do have like chocolate, martini,
They're
espresso.
beautiful drinks,
Yeah.
but they are definitely not keto friendly. And you don't really know what they're mixing into everything. So it's probably best just to steer clear from them. But if you are looking to have a drink, we like to order vodka seltzer lime. And you can carry a packet of Element electrolytes on you to spice up your drink. And actually that brings us to today's sponsor, Element. We are drinking citrus salt, which is the one that I usually bring in my purse for that specific purpose. Element is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything that you need and nothing that you don't. That means lots of salt with no sugar. Element is formulated to help anybody with their electrolyte needs, especially people on a ketogenic diet.
Element contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium.
I'll bring it in my purse. Even at a wedding I did it. I will order a vodka seltzer lime and I will just pour about a quarter to a half a pack of Element in it. It makes any vodka taste good. And actually I had no hangover the next day, which is shocking because I really typically have horrible hangovers when I drink when I'm on keto. Element is a longtime supporter of our channel and our content, which is kind of like an honor because we actually really love their product. And so we are really appreciative to them and for you guys for ordering your sample packs from Element so you can try the flavors. And for a limited time, they are continuing the deal where you can sign up to get your free sample pack from Element. All you have to do is pay for shipping. You can click the link in the description and get your sample pack today.
So you've picked a restaurant that you like, you've made your correct drink order that's keto friendly. Now it's time to tackle that menu. So now we're gonna go over some of the things that we would order from the typical restaurants that are in our area. Most of you guys live in America from our demographics. So let's start off with a restaurant that most people have in their area, and that's gonna be your basic American fare. Yeah, like Hamburgers, hamburger joint. Like for example, we have a place around us called Old Irving Brewing, and they have like standard American cuisine. When I am ordering from there, I'm always looking at their salad options. They have a beautiful steak salad that has like a nice vinaigrette on it, and that's usually what I go for. However, you can also order a hamburger, right? Without the bun, with all of the fixings on there, with a side salad. Those are generally pretty safe options when you're going to like a burger joint or an American fare joint.
I would say that you probably want to stay away from the appetizer section of a menu just because most of it is deep fried and it's not going to be keto friendly in any way. Like at Old Irving Brewing that we go to, they do have like pork rinds that they make in-house, and that's rare to see that. But And that's actually what we order when we go there. But anything else, I would just skip and go right to the main component of the meal.
And since you ate something beforehand, you don't need an appetizer.
Right.
Let's just be honest. You're ready for the main entree.
The funny part when I go to a restaurant is every time I order, even when I wasn't keto, I would order an appetizer and I would regret it. Just because I think that our eyes are bigger than our actual stomachs. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, I kind of wish that I never had ordered the appetizer. Even though you're hungry and you want something first, it's never as fulfilling as I think it's going to be. Anyway, and also I believe that appetizers are really expensive nowadays. I see appetizer prices and it's like $14. The
price of the entree.
Exactly. So I would just stick to getting one main course and getting a really great main course.
What about pizza joints, Emily?
Well, I think that we're very lucky here because we have a place called Lou Malnati's Pizza in Chicago. I think you might actually be able to order online. And we also actually have a video where we made the same kind of recipe that they have there, but they make it with a sausage crust. You can get a pizza delivered to Sarah's house that has sausage as the crust and not dough. And so we do get that from time to time. It is very, very filling though. You have to eat it slowly because again, your eyes are bigger than your actual stomach. Another great choice at a pizza place are wings. A lot of the time, they don't coat them in anything. And if you get like garlic parmesan wings, that's a great choice for a meal.
Or buffalo sauce even usually doesn't.
Buffalo sauce doesn't have sugar in it. It's just hot sauce and butter. And get extra dressing.
Get extra celery too.
Extra celery, extra dressing. That's a great option at a lot of pizza joints that they have wings.
So Mexican is another one. I think that they have a lot of options. You just have to look at the menu in a different way. I've heard that some people actually order the queso fundido, but they order vegetables to dip instead of the tortillas. Idea. And I think that would be really delicious. Dip the vegetables in some cheese. Yummy. We've actually taken low carb tortillas in our purse.
Okay, before anybody complains, I know that people are going to say, I worked at a restaurant and you're not allowed to do that. Well, you didn't know I did it.
It's funny because so we put them in the warmer to get them warm. And the woman looked in there and she like was surprised because they didn't look like the tortillas that they served there. But we have done that in the past and I will do it again. I don't really care. We order in a lot too, so we can do this in our home.
I have tortillas in my purse.
Yep, why not?
And I felt like I didn't even miss out because I had my tortillas in my purse. I have no shame. Some people carry ranch in their purse. I shouldn't feel ostracized because I carry low carb tortillas in my purse.
Emily is a mayo fan and she hasn't.
I have not gone that far to bring mayonnaise into a restaurant.
You can have fajitas and you can have, sour cream, guac, cheese, all the fixings on there, like we said. They also have steaks usually with like a nice chimichurri sauce on it. They have like a nice skirt steak.
You just have to kind of think of it, how can I piece it together? And always assume that if you're polite and you're kind, that the waitress or waiter, they do want to give you what you want. Mm-hmm. And as long as you're clear and say, I can't have this or that, can you recommend something for me? And they want to help you so that you can have a good experience in the restaurant.
So Italian places, they're known for pasta, but many of them will have some sort of like fillet of fish, or they'll have scallops or they'll have chicken, or they'll have like a nice steak. Most places have a protein and a vegetable. You just have to ask for it. Like, I think that a lot of people are worried about Italian restaurants because of that reason.
I've heard that people at Olive Garden, they'll get like, instead of noodles, they'll have them put it on top of a bed of broccoli. And so I've never had that before. And I've heard they are actually having zoodles there, although I don't normally eat it. I don't think I've been to Olive Garden in a decade.
Yeah, same.
But I've heard that some restaurants are actually waking up to the possibilities of that. You also have to think that keto is more common than it was 5 to 10 years ago. Like when Sarah and I would order through the drive-thru 5 years ago when we were doing keto for like a month, you would say, hello, I would like to have 2 double cheeseburgers without the bun. And it did not compute what you were talking about. Now, they actually know what I'm talking about. You have to go in it with an open mind and an open heart. And when you do that, you see possibilities. You don't see all the things that you can't have. Chinese food is difficult, but you're probably gonna wanna get something that has beef and the clearest sauce that they offer.
With extra vegetables.
That's probably going to be the lowest carb option on that menu. Anything that's fried, anything that's battered is probably gonna be
off limits.
Yeah. Right.
Chicken satay is something that I've ordered from like sushi restaurants or Chinese restaurants. You can dip it in the peanut sauce. It might have a little bit of carbs in there, but I've had that as like my main entree, and then I've had like a miso, like a soup on the side or something like that. Indian food is another one that's kind of difficult, but they have like chicken tandoori, which is like in a tandoori oven, bake the chicken, and it has spices on there. If you are ordering in, which I believe that there's a huge uptick in people ordering in since this whole thing started. If you are getting food delivered, you have a lot more options than you used to have. You just have to prepare for them. So if Sarah and I are ordering gyros, let's say, we have gyros about a couple times a month. We go to the place that offers a side salad instead of fries. We always like to support people who offer those types of things. So we get side salad, we get a huge plate of gyro meat. We actually heat up low carb tortillas in a little bit of oil when it's being delivered. Sure, you have to do that extra step, but they pretty much do the same thing. They are a vehicle for the meat and the sauce and the vegetables. So they work great for gyros. You can buy a pack of those Aldi hamburger buns that are 2 net carbs a piece. I think they're newer. We just reviewed them in another video. And you heat them up in a toaster or in a pan with a little bit of olive oil, toast them up, and now you can replace a hamburger or a cheeseburger. We even order Indian food, and we just heat up some cauliflower rice. You know, you have to do a little bit more, but you can still order out. You just have to be smart about it. I'll even use low carb tortillas as naan and dip it into the sauce. So one of the last things that we'll say is that because you're not making this food yourself, there is a good chance that you might go over a little bit. You don't know what they're using in the marinades, in the sauces, and you can plug it in 10 ways to Sunday in your phone app, but you don't know for sure. But at the same time, you are doing the best that you can, and sometimes that is good enough. You don't need to be perfect all the time on keto. You just need to get through. And if you really want to eat this thing, and you really want to go out to eat and be successful, don't overthink it too much, because at the end of the day, I don't really think it matters all that much. As long as you stick to doing the best that you can and avoiding the really big carb counts. And then maybe tomorrow, you eat really clean, just in case. It's all about doing this for the long term. Right. We've always said that. It's about doing this forever. And if you have to do these things, these hacks, to keep you going because you really love that butter chicken from this restaurant, I'm talking personally, I can never make it as good as this restaurant that we have here. I know that they put a little sugar in there. So what do? I eat only a little bit, but I make my own cauliflower rice, and I figure, hey, I'm willing to do that. And it works for me if I have it once every 6 months or something like that. It satisfies that craving, and you still get to stay on track. We would love to hear what all of you order when you guys go out to eat. So why don't you guys give us some ideas in the comments below. And if you guys want to see the video where we made that sausage crust pizza, you can click on the video on the screen, and we'll see you over there. Anyway, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Emily, and we are the Keto Twins, signing out.